Hi, my name's Claire Allen. I'm the Careers Consultant for the School of Education and Social Policy. I work with the academics and the careers team to embed career education in the curriculum. You'll often see me throughout your time at university at some of your seminars and lectures, and I'll be able to share lots of information with you over your time at uni to support you with your career aspirations, and also talk to you about routes into teaching and how we can support you in applying for a PGCE if that's the route that you want to take. So before we start, I just want to introduce you to Mel, who's our employability officer.
Hi, I'm Mel Villis. As Claire's mentioned, I'm an employability officer here at the Career Service. I work very closely with Claire, but my role's very different. I work with students on a one-to-one basis. So if you do book an appointment with the Career Service, I'm the first person that you will see.
Thanks, Mel. Okay, so before we move on, just wanted to talk to you a bit about social media. So we're big advocates of social media, and we share a lot on, you'll see Mel and I are on LinkedIn, so please follow us. We share lots of industry and information, jobs, lots of things about teaching and routes into teaching, so any Department of Education. So we share a lot on there, and it's a great way of networking with like-minded people who are looking to do teaching or working at some sort of education. So please link in with us, and if you want to set up a LinkedIn profile, we do have webinars. We'll talk to you a bit more about those shortly. We also have a careers LinkedIn group on LinkedIn. And again, once you've joined LinkedIn and you've set up a profile, you'll be able to tap into that. We're also, you're probably all very familiar with Twitter. We also have a careers route on Twitter. So please reach out to us if you need any support with setting that up. Okay, so we're now going to talk to you briefly about the services that we provide to help you secure a teaching job. So I'm now going to hand over to Mel, who's going to talk a bit more about her role and how she can support you.
Okay, so within one-to-one appointments, it's really easy to book via MetHub, and you can select the topic that you want to talk about. The appointments are really, really relaxed and informal, nothing to worry about. They last up to 20 minutes, but you can have further appointments if need be. Now, I support students whether in your first year, your third year, or in a master's, and whether you want to pursue teaching or whether you want to look into alternative careers. The kind of topics that I can help with, I can review your CV and make sure that you're selling yourself effectively, application forms for jobs, especially if you're coming to apply for teaching jobs shortly. If you're looking to apply for further study, I can also support with personal statements. Lots of things, so exploring career options. If you're exploring other further study options, please do book an appointment. Something to consider, we are open all summer, so if you are in your second year and looking to apply for teaching as soon as you enter your third year, you're more than welcome to contact us throughout the summer to review your personal statement, rather than get overwhelmed and stressed when you come back in September, ready to apply in October when it opens, so you don't feel as though you're trying to juggle your final year work experience you might be doing and getting your personal statement together. So please do remember, we are open all summer to support you.
Lovely, thanks, Mel. The other thing you'll see from this slide that there's lots of hyperlinks that you can tap into onto to look at our careers fairs and events. So every year we have a teacher agencies careers event. Obviously, because of COVID, we've not been having masses of career fairs on site, but we're certainly going to be doing that this year, so please look out for that. But it's also lots of other events and seminars and insight talks that we do, and the resources are there for you to look at. We also have access to lots of careers information. There's so much resource on MetHub and Moodle, so please tap into it and utilise it because it will really support you with your career education. We've also got some great e-modules, and that's everything from how to pull a good CV together, looking at covering letters applications, how to shine at interviews, and really some really good information that we highly recommend you tap into. And also there's a job search where you can look for opportunities that are coming up, and that could be opportunities while you're studying, but also permanent jobs and graduate programmes. Okay, I'm now going to pass you over to Mel, who's going to talk to you about the GCSE requirements for PGCE.
Okay, we get lots of inquiries about your GCSE requirements if you're looking to apply for a PGCE. If you're looking to apply to Wales, you do need a grade B in either English or Welsh and a grade B in maths as well. There's been a little bit of confusion as to whether English includes English literature or English language. I've spoken with the Department for Education, with UCAS and multiple universities, and generally either is accepted. Every now and again, you might come across a university that if you do have your B grade in English literature, they may request a minimum of a C grade in English or Welsh language. So I would always double check with the institution that you're looking to apply to. Grade B for maths does include either maths or numeracy, which many of you will be pleased to hear. And science, you need a grade C. Now, if you have a double science award that's grade CD, many universities will accept you, but once again, check with the individual provider, because one or two have come back to me to say that they may ask you to sit an equivalency test to get you up to that double C. If you're looking to apply for England, you will need a grade C in English and maths and a grade C in science also. And once again, the same applies for that double C grade as it does for Wales. It's really a good idea to start thinking about resits early on. It's never too early. Even if you're in your first year, start to think about it now, because it can be quite overwhelming if you get to your final year and you're trying to do all of that at the same time. A couple of colleges, look at the further education colleges such as Coleg y Cymoedd, which I've heard offer a discount for Cardiff Met students. Cardiff and the Vale College also have GCSE resits, and the National Extension College is a great online provider as well. So you've got a couple of options there. If all else fails, most Welsh universities offer equivalency tests, which generally you have your interview and then you have to pass your equivalency test to be accepted onto the PGCE. It can cause quite a lot of stress amongst students, just waiting to find out if you've passed. So if you are in a position to think about GCSE resits early on, we would highly recommend you do that. Over to you, Claire.
Lovely, thanks, Mel. And just going back to what Mel's saying, when we've spoken to other students in doing primary education studies, some are really shocked sometimes that they have to have those GCSE results to apply for PGCE. So really, back in what Mel's saying, really, look at doing those in your first year if you can, rather than wait for your second year when the pressure really starts to build up in terms of your studies. And if Mel is great at doing one-to-ones and really giving some guidance to you on a one-to-one basis, whether that's PGC, whether that's looking at CVs, looking at what other career options there are. Most students doing the PES course do want to go into teaching and do want to pursue a PGCE, but there may be other routes that you want to take. So please reach out to us, and we do offer you lots of guidance and lots of signposting to help you understand what you can do with your PES degree. I will certainly be meeting with you over your time at university, and I'll be coming into your lectures and seminars to talk in much more detail about how we can support you and what we can do to give you that information and knowledge and experience to pursue those PGCs and pursue those jobs and secure gainful employment. Okay. So finally, I wanted to talk to you about experience. The one thing that some students don't do enough of is get gainful experience within schools. It's really important that you get as much experience as possible. Predominantly in schools, that's the main aim, because that's where you're really going to get that understanding, that learning, that knowledge, that experience that you can use when you apply for a PGCE. So when you apply for a PGCE, you're going to have to put a personal statement together, and Mel can really work with you on that in bringing it together. But what you need is to be able to bring that experience to that application, and not just talk about experience, but how it impacted on the young people that you were working with. If you don't get to have lots of experience within a school, then you may be that you belong to a sports club, or you're involved in music, or you work with a Brownies with a Brownies or Cubs group, or you're part of a church group. But there's loads of other opportunities that you can tap into that will really support any application. But predominantly, primarily, I think it's really important that you get out to those schools and get as much experience, and across, several schools rather than just one. The more exposure you can have and experience in these schools, the better. But if you need any support and guidance in terms of that experience, then again, Mel can help you with that. Mel, have you got any tips that you can give based on your experience with students previously in terms of guidance?
Yeah, sure. When students apply for experience, it's really important to take it seriously and get a really good CV together, a really good cover letter together, and to take that into the employer or to submit it by email, just to market yourself. Tell the school why you want to work for them in particular, or the club, wherever you're applying for. But it's just being able to market yourself. I think lots of students do really undersell yourselves. Lots of you have got so much really good experience already that you're not showcasing that on your CVs. So I'm more than happy to provide prompts and give you tips on how to promote yourself to be able to gain further experience. The other thing that I would say as well, don't underestimate teaching agencies. If you've got a couple of experiences working with children under your belt, if you sign up to a teaching agency, you've got that bonus of the fact that you get paid whilst you're gaining experience. So that's another thing to consider, and that's going to give you that exposure to different schools as well. So the more schools that you can work in, the better, because when you're applying for teaching, if you're asked, how do you know you want to be a teacher? You've worked in enough schools to understand both the positives, the benefits, and the challenges as well. And you can evidence that really well.
Yeah, it's a good point. And also there can be stiff competition in some universities for these PGC places. So, it's about having that experience and also being able to talk about that when it comes to your interview. So again, we can give you some guidance and help you with your confidence to make sure that you secure those places. But yes, I suppose the last word from me is that, we're a resource that's available to you year round. We're here to make sure that you are successful in securing either postgraduate PGC places or help you to move into your careers. And you know, you can tap into us as a resource for up to 2 to 3 years post graduation. So please, you know, utilize this. We've got lots of experience. My background is HR, so I'm used to seeing CVs and applications over the years. So, you know, we're a great resource to have, and sometimes students don't tap into that resource enough, but those that do are highly successful. So wish you the best of luck with your studies and look forward to seeing you soon. Thank you.